Welcome everybody to the
Hey,
Your Mouth Lounge, episode number 169. I had to instinctively stop because I knew that Addy was going to chime in. I was just in the middle. I was in the middle of my whole starting thing, and I just knew, like, oh, Addy's got to interrupt me. Hang on a second. There we go. All right. Now continue. So, I'm Alex. There's also Addy and some other
and
guy,
Some other man.
the Punk Sparkle Peef.
yeah,
Precisely.
Damn, I always mess that one up. At least I got it right today, I guess.
well, obviously we have world-renowned Smite Evo player Pink Sparkle Fuck here with
Yeah.
us today.
Alright. So, Pink, you're going to go to your channel.
Yeah, I should have more of just drawing stuff coming out this week. I don't remember what all I've uploaded this week. I think I did heads and some anatomy. So I don't remember if anatomy did go up or not, but the next couple of videos should either be anatomy or anatomical diversity. So yeah, not a lot, but that will be coming out this week, maybe.
It's not a lot, but it is important.
Right.
Yeah,
Importante. Eddie, what you got coming on your channel this week?
right. So I forgot this week again. So to make sure that I won't forget again, uh, today in the morning, I went ahead and scheduled all of the episodes of Ghost of Tsushima that exist, and now I have shit scheduled until the end of April. So
Nice!
look forward to Ghost of Tsushima Part 1 coming out on freaking this Friday.
Alright.
Excellent.
Anything else?
No, there is still the review that I wrote a couple of weeks back. I'm gonna have to rewrite some parts of that because I've decided. Originally, I wrote it to be spoiler free, and I figured, oh well, whatever. Who cares? I have put spoiler warnings into the past two reviews, so I can just actually write my opinions about the story too. And I also forgot like two big parts of gameplay. Well, it's not big parts of gameplay, but it's things that I want to point out. So I'm gonna have to add those as well, and then I'm also gonna have to still send freaking like I've thought about just posting the freaking shit that I need one of you to read out, and then if both of you end up reading it out, then I just edit it together.
Yeah.
Because whatever.
Yeah.
Alright.
It's not much, but yeah, that's gonna be done sometime.
Okay. And, oh, by the way, just feel free to go ahead and send that to me anytime, and I'll just record it in Audacity or OBS and just send it back to you.
All right, yeah.
The, oh, on my channel, I have a channel too. Oh my god. Anyway.
What?
Oh,
I never knew.
holy shit. So, on my channel, I don't know if I've actually got anything pre-recorded to set up to go upload this week. We are almost certainly going to be getting something. Okay, this week in Total War Warhammer, we are either going to be getting a free LC by itself, which will just be one little thing, like, I don't know, a new Lord or something. A new Legendary Lord, but I don't think it's going to just be that. I think they're going to reveal the DLC this week, and it'll come out in 2 weeks. So, if I am right and the DLC is going to be revealed this week, then there will almost certainly be a trailer kind of, I don't want to say reaction, because I'm not going to be, like, oohing and awing and guffawing at it, but I doubt there's going to be anything that spectacular. But I'm probably going to upload a video of me, like, watching the trailer and, like, dissecting it and being like, hey, they're including this monster. This monster is really good at X. And just kind of haphazardly, like, looking at information and so on.
Yeah.
Other than that,
Very
it's
nice.
difficult to say what I want to get done. I did suggest multiple kind of things that I wanted to get done in a State of the Channel update video a while back. I said I wanted to do something in Hades, which I've already done. I believe I said I wanted to do something in a survival horror game. Have not gotten around to doing that yet. I said I wanted to get around to doing something in a fighting game, as I felt it was inappropriate that I didn't have any fighting game videos up on my channel, despite being a very, very big fighting game nerd. So, I may do Street Fighter 4 this week, a quick arcade playthrough with Bison, even though I don't particularly like playing against the AI. It's Street Fighter 4, you know, what else am I going to do?
I mean,
play.
Street Fighter 4's AI sucks even harder though, dude. Says.
Yeah, the AI in Street Fighter 4 on normal is like still kind of baby.
I mean, it's not even just that it's baby, but like the AI of Street Fighter 4 goes from being baby in one match, and then in the next one, it's freaking fighting Mizuki and Orochi at the same time.
Ah, so you mean Seth and
Yes,
Blanca?
so that is the most obvious one, but it just happens with random characters as well. Like sometimes I freaking wreck Gouken's shit. I'm just pulling someone out from, for example, but like sometimes I wreck Gouken's shit, and sometimes I just can't move because he just starts zoning so hard that I literally can't jump anymore.
That's Goken for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely remember a bit of that. I remember playing through as Evil Ryu, and like most of the AIs have no way of trying to counter Evil Ryu's fucking stomp pressure loops.
Nice.
Other than that, I'm not sure what I could do this week. I'm probably going to be pretty fucking super busy this week, honestly, on account of something that I guess I'll talk about when I get to my own week. So, on the FOS channel, we have got, on Monday, March 15th, FOS Sims 4 Misadventures Part 2, Living with Flair.
Yes, you will get to see me at my worst. Because during that recording, I literally couldn't think straight. Like there was so much freaking like I don't know.
Couldn't either, dude. I think I had legitimately just woken up before we did that recording, so that entire recording I'm like, what?
Yeah, you just woke up. I was so conflicted over my existence that that freaking my mind was going overdrive constantly, and I literally just couldn't think. And Pink tried to do things. Pink tried to keep up commentary and stuff like that, but like
Pink tried to shepherd two drunks.
Yeah.
I certainly existed in that episode, so yes.
And on Friday, Guilty Gear XX Accent Core Plus R Part 2! Is that the one with Goku or Soon?
No. We didn't record the time we played with Soon because we wanted them to have a freaking just time where we basically just stand around and they get to figure out the controls and stuff. And yeah, Soon hasn't played with us since.
But we recorded the first one with Goku, no pressure.
No, we didn't play with Goku.
Oh, my brain's not working today.
No, we recorded the first time we played Smite with Goku.
Yes, yes, but we were playing against medium AI bots, which are admittedly pretty fucking simple.
Yeah. And I mean, although to be fair, like, or freaking Smite videos, like the first three, or not the first three, but with those two episodes, because that had to be cut into two. With those three, out of all of the Smite videos, three of them are us fighting against the AI because one of them was with Volk, and then there's two with Goku now. But every other one is just straight up us fighting against people.
Yeah.
Speaking of, get ready because next week starts Smite month. I'm not joking.
Yeah, we've been recording a lot of Smite lately. Smite's a fun game. Even when it's painful, Smite is still a good pain. Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Pink.
Before we move on to something, before we move on, I just want to also say something because we have discussed topics such as this, and apparently it's a big enough controversy to stick around more than a couple of weeks, which is I waited a bit on this because I mean, who cares at the end of the day? But apparently people are pissed off about Lola Bunny not having tits anymore, and all of those people are cowards. Lola Bunny is hotter without tits.
I'm gonna be honest, I ain't been looking at it that way.
Me neither, honestly. But like if I have to choose.
Like, what I remember is, I remember when I was a kid seeing that version of Space Jam and being like, why are they doing this with Lola? And then I remember when they did the kind of 2010 relaunch of Looney Tunes that was more like Seinfeld styled, and they made Lola like the best character.
I don't know, like I remember disliking Lola just because most of her character, from what I remember, boiled down to being stupid, and I didn't like that she was just stupid. Like she felt like Ed with tits from freaking Ed and Eddie.
I did. She was definitely a little bit stupid, but the more so it came off as like kind of psycho.
I mean, yes,
Yeah.
when she went psycho, those were fun. Like when she actually she was able to have characters outside of stupid, she was good. But when they forced her to just be stupid, those episodes were bad.
I think with all this stupid Lola Bunny controversy going on, I saw where someone put up a clip on Twitter of that version of Lola, where she's on the phone with Bugs, and Bugs is standing on a sidewalk, and Lola is on the phone and says, "Hey, I'm in the car driving right now. Oh my god, you wouldn't believe this, but there's someone on the sidewalk who looks just like you. I'm about to hit him." And then it just fucking smash cuts to Bugs diving out of the way of her car.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the same thing. You remember Mortal Kombat when Mortal Kombat 11 came out? The boner culture. They are depriving us of our boner culture.
Yeah. I mean, like, honestly, the take that I've agreed with the most is one I've read off of the Super Best Friends Reddit, where I don't know the guy who keeps posting it, and it may not be the same guy, honestly, but honestly, they are based because whenever this topic got brought up on the Super Best Friends Reddit, people are just going, people who are up in arms about Lola not having tits anymore are just cowards who don't want to commit to being a furry. And I mean, you know, she's an anthropomorphic freaking rabbit, so why like she doesn't need to be sexualized.
I would think that if you're complaining about Lola not being sexualized enough, that would be an implicit admittance of being a sexual furry.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, the I don't know. Like, I guess because I haven't seen a lot of this controversy myself because I don't give a shit. But I guess it's a thing of like, oh, she had enough freaking human features that freaking, I don't know, she crossed the line for people or whatever. Whatever.
She's still
Yeah,
got a
she's still
rabbit's
an
face.
yeah, she's still an Anthro Rabbit, so I don't get how people make those leaps in logic. But I mean, if they do, then they do.
Oh my god. No, it's gay when you do it, but not when I do it.
Yeah.
Look, it's not gay if you don't look at each other's eyes.
No. You see, those people don't want to have sex with Lola Bunny. They do, but afterwards they will say no furry, and that makes it right. That makes it fine.
I remember there was in the book version of It, one of the bullies jerks off the other bully, but then suggests like switching to, of course, oral, and the other bully says, "No, that's gay. What the fuck's wrong with you?" and punches him.
All right. Sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
Boy, Stephen King, when he was doing cocaine, had an uncomfortable obsession with teenage sexuality.
Yep. So, hey, there is that one scene that didn't get adapted for a good reason.
Yeah, that scene. Yep. That's all we're gonna say about that. Is there's a scene that was not adapted in It that should not have been adapted, and they didn't adapt it, so they made the correct choice.
Yes. I mean, like that's one of those things where if you know, you know. If you don't, you're probably better off.
There is one scene that is missing from the book that I think would have really improved the movie, but it ain't that. It's the scene where like the main kid gets to meet God, and God is a turtle.
I knew it.
Yeah. Turtles all the way down.
They are holding up the universe.
Yeah.
On the back of a freaking on the back of an elephant.
Which ancient religion was it that believed that? Was it like Mayan or something?
I don't know.
I thought it was a Mesoamerican one that believed that the world is held up by turtles.
It probably was. No elephants though, because those are not native to the Americas, I don't believe.
Yeah, no, the elephants part I think was
Added by Terry
okay.
Pratchett afterwards.
But yeah,
When Terry Pratchett made Discworld, he deliberately made it as absurd as possible and said it's like turtles on elephants on like geese or something, and it just kept going down.
but it's not the animals.
Totem
It's
pole
Geese
of
Howard.
animals.
Did you say it's Geese Howard?
Yes, I said it's not the animals. It's Geese Howard holding up elephants, holding up turtles.
Who is it? Man, I was just thinking the other day about how every game needs Geese Howard. I was just thinking the other day about how I should play more games, and whenever I get parries in games that are completely... No, here's what it was.
Yeah, predictable.
I was playing Red Dead Redemption 2 the other day and got in a fist fight. And I can talk about this more later, but I got in a fist fight with one of the NPCs, and the entire time I was just thinking, predictable! I will stain my hands with your blood. Anyways.
I saw a post on the Guilty Gear Reddit where some guy asked about whether or not we know the DLC for Guilty Gear Strive, which obviously we don't yet because the game isn't even out yet. But
Yeah.
And I liked how the first two replies were Akuma and Negan. And you know what? I'd buy that. I'd pay money just to play Akuma in Guilty Gear 2.
Yeah. I love, like, Negan's already out of place in Tekken. Put him in a game where not only is he tonally against the rest of the cast, but he's also just, like, horribly underpowered comparative to everyone like that. He's just a dude with a baseball bat.
Yeah, but like if Negan were to be adapted into Guilty Gear Strive, I would hope that they actually just wouldn't give him any powers or anything. He would just be like he would be the Dan Hibiki joke character, and not even like not Street Fighter 5 Dan Hibiki either. No, Street Fighter Alpha or not. Wait, freaking I'm forgetting which one. SVC Chaos Dan Hibiki. Oh no.
They ought to have him tag with that character from the show that was played by Trevor's actor from Grand Theft Auto 5. That might make up for it. You get Trevor as a striker when you play Negan.
Yeah.
And it just plays Trevor's voice lines from his Rampage missions.
Hire us, Arxis. We have ideas. Not good ones, but ideas.
We have ideas.
It would require you to spend millions of dollars on a character license that no one would particularly like. Because I'm sure Rockstar would charge like mad to have Trevor appear, but still.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, if we actually freaking like if we were actually hired by Arxis to just be like, hey, put this character into the game, then the DLC pack 1 would just be Akuma, Geese Howard, and Mai Shiranui. Like,
which one of us would ask for Mai?
Yeah.
Pink.
Oh.
She has both the tits and the ass.
That's true.
You see?
I feel like there are still better picks from. I feel like Pink wouldn't pick Mai if we showed him Angel. Or Angel, I guess her name is. Since she's Mexican, I guess it's Angel.
I don't know. I feel like she's a bit too vanilla. she's not.
Have you looked at her costume?
Well, yeah, but she's just Eno. But wrestler. Maybe you're right.
Yeah.
Wait, yeah, if it's just wrestler, then yeah, that's the figure I gotta go with.
Well-endowed wrestler from Mexico. I feel like this is like one of Pink's types.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Never mind the fact that even though she's Mexican, she's like super white.
Yeah. But we get to add her into the freaking into the game, then Pink would force them to have the freaking the top of animation be the only one. Both 2D and 3D.
To be fair, unlike Eno, she's not naked when she takes her top off, so.
True.
And I guess we never got around to talking about that. How do we feel about Eno's new design? Because I actually kind of like it. I know that she's now lost her classic wind sprite of going topless, but still, I like it.
I don't really remember the new.
Let me get
Google it. Okay.
Let me get a picture for you.
Jacket, but I liked everything else about it.
I definitely like the sunglasses.
Yes, those were a fantastic addition.
Yeah, to me it looks mostly the same, but I do like the glasses. And other than that, I mean, like I'm more preoccupied being scared of actually having to fight Ino again.
Eh,
There you go. There's a picture of Ino in Strive.
there we go.
Excellent.
It's weird how she's got like that kind of skirt that looks like a half trench coat.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a butt cape.
yeah. Oh no, they're going to give her a freaking a new move that is the deadliest fart from freaking KOF 2002.
Oh no.
Ino's eaten Clone Zero and taken his powers. She now freaking stroking the big tree is now freaking invincible on startup and freaking stunlocks people and is also a command grab.
Yeah. I had Clone Zero's liver with a side of Chianti.
Oh blimey, that's hell.
Wait, is Eno like fucking? Is Eno like that immortal guy from DC? Like where he just has to eat people. She has to eat people to keep her immortality.
Maybe. I mean, it has been a while since we've seen Testament, so.
Oh no. That's what happens to all the missing Guilty Gear characters.
Yeah, Eno eats them.
Oh no. Alright. So, Pink, what you been up to this past week?
What have I been up to? That is an excellent question. Actually, I did go back to Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 to try to get all the DLC unlocked, because it turns out I had not unlocked Blade or Morbius, because as I was going through those gauntlets, the Blade one in particular, I realized the reason I was never able to complete that one is because the gauntlets, they are basically you're doing the story missions with gimmicks applied.
Yes.
So it was a level with a time limit, but it takes place in the Avengers Tower during the Ultron missions.
Yes, I have played that one. It
And
sucks.
yes, it does. And you know those corridors where you've got all those hexagons with the invisible walls that you got to turn off?
Yes, I've played that trial. It sucks.
Yeah, it's a time trial.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. So the reason I never got Blade is because I went through that time trial, got to that part, and couldn't figure out which way to go. And I was like, yep, screw this. I'm not going to do it. So then I come back all these months or years later, and I cheese the crap out of it because I was like, okay, I can pause the game, I can go on YouTube, and I can watch some other idiot fumble his way through these corridors, and then I'll know exactly which route to take. And that's exactly what I did. I'm too smart for you, game.
Yeah.
I'm the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
Good old Japanese games failing to account for YouTube.
And they never saw it coming.
Yeah, that I definitely had a problem with the trials in that it's just like, okay, go through and power level 4 specific characters and then just only use those 4 characters to beat trials. Like, no, fuck you, actually. I'll pass.
Yeah. It's certainly not great.
It's one of those things that, like, they just threw it in there to inflate the content, I guess, you know?
Yep.
Ugh. Yeah, I'm not fond of that mentality of just like, well, it's more content, you know?
It's not good content.
I too have played Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Eh.
Yeah, that was Ultimate Alliance 3. Finally got all the characters unlocked, so I can, I don't know, check that off the bucket list, I guess, if it was even on there.
Yeah.
It's a good feeling to have. I mean, I was really excited. You know, Morbius, my favorite Marvel character of all time. I was so excited to have him in the game. I've totally played him after unlocking him like a lot, so it's great.
Do you feel better having Do you feel better having a level 12 blade?
Yes, absolutely. I love Blade. I was happy to finally have him unlocked, and then there was one more gauntlet, and I was like, do I even want to do this? Do I really care? But I had like a level 69 Phoenix, so I just melted that entire trial because that's one of the earlier ones.
Yeah.
So
Totally in character for Phoenix.
absolutely. Outside of that, what else have I done this week? I actually got around to playing a little bit of Civilization with the new updated Barbarian mode.
I have not got to
Which
touch that, but it sounds fascinating.
I hate that it's a lone game mode when I feel like it should have just been a straight up rework of the Barbarians in basic Civ. Because I am never going to play a game henceforth with that mode turned off. It's far too appealing to use. It's like there are so many features you can do with it now, and because barbarians in vanilla Civ, they spawn,
You kill them.
and they spawn a bunch of units, and they attack your cities, and it's terrible if you get overwhelmed. With the new mechanics, you can actually pay off the barbarians to ignore you for 20 whole turns. Or if you're really loaded, you can pay money to have them attack somebody else instead.
Ooh.
Yeah. You can do a Byzantium. Pay off the barbarians to attack Western Rome instead.
Yeah.
It'll be great. Get Zoom time.
Thank you.
So yes, the new barbarian mode. It's fantastic. I'm never going to play a game without it.
I feel like with Civ 6 going forward, like, you really should just have all of those things turned on, except maybe Apocalypse mode.
Yeah, I feel the same way, because every update, every mode they've added has only, well, obviously added to the game. It's just almost so much more funner with all those modes turned on. And then you've got Apocalypse, which is what it sounds like. So, that's optional. Me personally, I turn most every mode on. Sometimes I'll leave the secret societies off.
Yeah, because having
Just
Cthulhu in your
because,
Civ game is a little goofy.
yeah. And for some civs, it can really overpower them really quickly. So, I don't always play with that one on. But if I want to have a good time, that one's usually turned on as well. So,
All right. I hear heroes are
nothing but
also broken.
heroes are definitely broken, especially in the fact that a lot of heroes, well, they're not really balanced to be balanced, I suppose, because some are a lot better than others. And there's, I forget her name. I think it's him. Is it Kimiko or Himiko?
Addy?
I remember Himiko.
I think that's it. So yeah, she's one that has like 10 charges right off the bat, and with every charge, you can just add an envoy into any city state she's adjacent to. And that one is really stupid overpowered because you can become suzerain really fast of all your immediate city states surrounding you. And plus, if you're pumping envoys into city states that you're already suzerain of, you also get like 100 faith from the envoy you're sending in there with her. So it's really stupid overpowered. And there are so many others that can do similar cheesy maneuvers. I feel like the worst one thus far has been Beowulf, because his special ability is just that he can instantly kill anyone with a combat strength lower than him.
What?
But he only gets like maybe 3 charges, if that. I feel like when I first got him, he only had 1. I'm assuming that will increase as time goes on, but if he's only getting 1 charge, that will allow him to instantly delete a unit from the map. It's good. It's not great. I think all in all the heroes are good to have though. So there's nothing like, oh, try to why why would I build a monument and then build the little tribute thing to spawn this hero when the hero is no good? There is no hero that is no good in my experience. So I think they did a good job with all the abilities they gave, but some are definitely more powerful than others.
It sounds crazy if one of them is like, oh yeah, just nukes anything that's at a lower strength than he is.
Right.
And is he not crazy strong?
He doesn't have a crazy strong combat strength at the beginning of the game. I want to say all the heroes are around like 35 or 36 combat strength, so it's a lot for early game. I don't know if he'll scale upwards as the game goes on though. So I'm pretty sure by medieval era, if he retains that basic combat strength of 35 or 36, then I think he will be weaker than some knight units or other unique units. I'm not certain though, because I definitely haven't checked out the combat strength of all the units across the game. So I could be very wrong there. Beowulf could actually be one of the best heroes ever to obtain, and I'm just not smart enough to figure that out. So, I mean, if I'm wrong in a month or so, I was wrong. I'll be happy to admit it.
Anything else?
Anything else? I feel like there's one other thing, but I cannot recall it. So let me actually open up my Switch here real quick and think. No, I think that was it.
All right. And
Okay.
Eddie.
Yeah. So, I haven't done a whole lot. Obviously, I did play Ghost of Tsushima, and I mean, I can't really talk any more about the games that I already have. So
Yeah.
I just move on to the shit that's tangentially related. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So
Yes.
I tried to go
Yes.
for a Beast Wars Megatron there, but it didn't work. Yes. There we go. There's Beast Wars Megatron.
Oh, it has been
Anyway,
so long since I've watched anything even slightly related to Beast Wars.
I've watched reviews recently, which is why I can do Megatron. I don't think Beast Wars even aired over here, by the way.
No.
But yeah. Uh, so as I'm getting the better at and more used to commentating, like but as I'm getting better overall with life, I'm getting better at commentating, and I am slowly figuring out the freaking my what's the word? My limits. That's the word.
Okay.
So it turns out I can only actually like speak when I'm alone for like an hour before I just get hit with freaking shutting up. Like
I
for an
too
hour,
get
I
hit
can.
with the shutting up.
Yes.
It smacks me right in the face, and it kicks me in the balls too. It's crazy.
I mean,
Oh, that sucks.
it's like how Sephiroth doesn't summon a meteor; he summons meteor, just meteor.
Just me, you.
Yeah, I get hit with D shutting up. But yeah,
Video games are dumb.
so yeah. Like, the best part of Meteor being its own like separate thing, like instead of them calling it a meteor, it's just Meteor. Like the best part is that that's the whole script. It's not a meteor is going to hit Midgar. It's meteor is going to hit Midgar. Just Meteor. Ah, bloody hell. Whatever.
It's like when
Yeah.
anime characters refer to their moves by name, and it's just like, oh god.
Yeah. But so you know, like on one hand, freaking there's a lot of pressure in my head even right now as we speak, which makes thinking freaking hard again. Hey, kind of on topic considering Sims is coming out.
Yeah.
But aside from that, when I actually can freaking just like talk the way I wanna, I guess, or I don't know how to say it, but when I actually let myself be, I almost start sounding like a real boy now, and that's an improvement. Because now now
I
it's not
think you
just
sometimes
freaking
are too hard on yourself with that.
maybe. But like I don't know. Like it's nice to actually like hear that like I watched back the episodes that I've recorded more recently, and like it is weird to actually listen back to those and just hear that I'm like you can hear that I'm laughing genuinely at stuff instead of just like expanding more air. and that is another thing that like freaking my oldest sister visited a couple of weeks ago, and apparently it shows too, because she was like, oh my god, he smiled, which that should tell you about the way I behave off of recording. That she had to point that out, but uh shit's bad, but I'm trying to deal with it. uh so what else? I guess the thing that I could bring up is, well, since my birthday is coming up in 2 weeks, my family has been trying to figure out what to get me, because we can't afford shit. And even though I tell them that they don't need to buy me anything, they insist. So they're like, "Hey, don't you want a freaking PS5?" And I tell them no, because well, we can't afford one for one.
Oh, don't
But
worry,
even if
just
we did,
mortgage your house.
yeah. But like even if we could, like you could only get the freaking disc driveless version, which I mean whatever. The freaking it's not in stock, and there's no freaking games for it for me. So I mean it can wait.
And the discless version, like, don't you have several PS4 games on disc?
Yeah, I mean I have some, but it's like most of them are not games that I would really miss playing, aside from Sengoku Basara. Like that's the thing that I would want this drive version for.
Yeah, not even getting into how like there could be like decent sales on disc PS4 games at some point.
Yeah, but like that's they brought up getting a Nintendo, but Nintendo tax exists, and
Yeah.
that's not that's not mentioning that technically Hungary is not supported by Nintendo, so
Yeah.
I can't buy shit digitally.
I fucking swear.
Yeah. And then there are other things like freaking my well, basically, long story short, I'm trying to get my freaking family to just go along with like maybe putting money away if we can, and then just put it into the freaking fursuit, because whatever, like that's going to be a hard sell, not because of actually like of the nature of the whole thing, but just because actually having to make it is going to be hard. That's going to require a lot of work on me, on actually like it's going to require a lot of engineering from me to actually figure out how things work, and I have no clue how engineering works. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. But hey, I mean, I am giving myself time at least until I actually get freaking fit, and that's not going to happen for like the next year. So there's plenty of time. Uh, and speaking of that, I had a funny conversation with my mother recently, where she's very insistent that I get a girlfriend to help me sort my life out. Which no, I don't want to be a plague upon another person's life anymore. Like I'm already, I'm already freaking burdening the two of you with my bullshit. I don't need to get someone locally to do that too.
Hush.
But aside from that, she's like, oh, maybe you can find yourself a freaking furry girlfriend, because then I don't know, because I
No.
know you have a furry fetish.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Like it's even funnier in context because we don't talk about sexual stuff. usually. So it it just coming out of the blue hit me real hard.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
fuck.
I
Oh,
you, yeah.
oh, God, you just reminded me of something that I found out during my week that I don't want to talk about.
Are you off 32?
No, no, but apparently at some point, not in this apartment, but well, like not in this house, I guess, but at the old house in Indiana where I used to live, my mom once caught one of my cousins jerking off in our house.
Oh.
What the heck?
Yeah, that was my reaction. I was, who the fuck jerks off in someone else's house?
That's freaking disgusting.
That's horrible on so many levels.
Yeah, what the heck?
Man, I don't think
I
I
mean,
could if I were
lordy.
forced to at gunpoint.
I mean, I don't get it, but like people freaking you used to do it in the freaking in the school bathrooms in multiple of my schools. So
No!
like not even that.
Terribly unsanitary.
Not even that, but I'm pretty sure freaking multiple kids were caught in my elementary school freaking getting it on in the bathrooms.
Well, that's admittedly those are kids that are so small they don't understand what they're doing.
But well, I don't know. Like is ninth grade? Or not ninth grade. It would have been eighth or seventh.
What the hell were eighth
Eight.
graders doing at your elementary school?
Oh freaking I'm mixing up the freaking American school system. In my grade school, well, because
Okay.
you see over here we have schools from ranging from grade 1 to grade 8, and then grade 9 to grade 12, and then freaking university. So
You see, here in the States, we have a name for kids who had, I guess, sexual activity in middle school. That name is drug addicts.
yeah, I mean I don't know. I do know that
I
the
try not to be a
freaking
I try not to be a prude some days, but God, I just hate human sexuality a lot of times. Like
I mean
we are
yeah
fucked up animals, is what we are.
yeah.
We ain't much. We're gorillas who think too highly of ourselves. That's what we are. We're naked gorillas that think too highly of ourselves.
Oh, this reminded me of the Bruno Mars song "Gorilla," which is about what you think, considering the freaking topic that reminded me of it. But the thing that reminded me makes me laugh about it is that I saw a review once that was made by Todd in the Shadows, where he reviewed the song and he just like for a couple of seconds put it on screen the visual representation, because the whole song is like, oh, we're gonna have sex like gorillas. So he showed it, and yeah,
Why?
because it looks underwhelming.
For fuck's sakes.
Yeah. I mean, I don't understand freaking human sexuality either, or like sexuality at all. But then, like,
I
I have
understand it.
next to no.
I understand it. I just hate it.
But yeah, I mean, okay, I don't like it. I don't know if I say I hate it. Maybe sometimes, yeah. Actually, now that you say it, maybe. But I also don't understand it. But then I'm also like freaking like I also have like next to no sex drive, if any at all. So like that, whatever. Like, you know. Like I wouldn't have experiences that would force me to actually learn about it, so it makes sense why I wouldn't know why or how.
Anyways, let's talk about something that
Yeah.
isn't people getting horny for Looney Tunes rabbits or people jerking off in other people's houses.
Yeah. Oh, freaking! Did I do anything else, or was there anything that I found particularly notable in the week? I don't think so. So
All right.
yeah.
All right. Oh, well, I guess that was what you did this week. Okay,
Yeah,
so what I did this week. So
did you jerk
first,
off in your cousin's apartment?
no,
Yeah,
revenge.
it's payback.
That's so dumb.
But like, instead of trying to hide away in the bathroom, you just kick down his door and then start doing it in the doorway, looking him in the eye.
Well,
It's
no,
like,
I was like imagining the Metal Gear Solid 5 trailer, and it's just like Punished Alex or something like that.
yeah.
A man denied his house without the foreign jerking off in it. Okay. So what I did this week. Alright, so let me look over what I actually did this week. A lot of this week, I'm not gonna lie, was deep diving on good old Warhammer Fantasy lore and reading lots of books, lots of PDFs, because the game is like, the original tabletop game is super dead, so like all the stuff can just be found on like, oh, just any old website. Okay, sure. And it's
cool.
It's fascinating reading lore about countries in Warhammer Fantasy that I thought had absolutely no lore, like Araby. It's a lot of fun. It's really fun because most of Araby's lore was made in the late 80s, early 90s. So Araby is Warhammer's equivalent of pretty well just all Islamic countries, right? Like,
Yeah.
aesthetically, they're obviously super Arabian, with like their architecture and the way they dress and all that. A lot of their culture is like super Turkish, like right down to the fact that like parts of their military are named Janissaries and Sipahis, like just straight up. But the really, really great thing was when in the like late 80s they provided a sort of origin story for Araby as a country, which was there was a great man named Mullah Aklond who was great and charismatic and wise. And he gathered up a revolution against the elves and freed Araby and founded as a nation, all the while preaching the prophecies of his god, Allah. Allah. The late 80s, huh?
It's fine though. It's with one L.
Nope. Nope.
It's not even with one L. Okay.
Nope.
Sure.
It's ALLAH. Properly
Oh,
spelled.
wow.
Uh-huh. So, and of course, they also just straight up had, like, oh, all the Islamic teachings. No drinking alcohol, gotta wear head coverings, and yada, 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 and all this and that. And it's like, what the fuck? This early Warhammer lore was written by Thatcher-era basement nerds, but, like, Jesus Christ. And it's so funny, because, like, if you look at the Warhammer versions of European cultures, like the Empire or Bretonnia, they've got clearly these nonsense made-up religions of like, oh, we worship Sigma, and Ulrich, and Tal, and the Lady, and then the Muslim equivalent, just straight up, oh, Allah, you know. But thankfully, a few years on, someone retconned that, and so Mullah Aklond instead preached, gods older than those worshipped by the Tomb Kings, and it's just kind of assumed they worship the lizard men gods, which is kind of funny, but it is what it is. And yeah, there's a lot of fascinating lore beyond that. Like, now their religion has kind of drifted. Instead, they worship genies, which they keep in lamps. And nobody's quite sure if the genies are actual demons or just kind of passive nature spirits.
Like, considering like actual mythological genies, I can see that change.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have a nice, solid idea of God, or if you're drifting away from your original idea of God, then yeah, I can see where you'd see these crazy fucking near omnipotent spirits in the desert and be like, yo, that's a god.
Yeah. But do they also have ring genies that are not as strong? Because obviously, for someone to be all powerful, they need to have bling on all 10 of their fingers with a different genie in each one, and then also like 3 lamps. No
That's
one
a
will
lot
beat
of
them.
genies.
Yeah.
Yo, when like an Arabian sorcerer has a genie in a lamp and he pulls the genie out for like helping with things, is the genie his stand?
No. but only because the genie is not like the representation of his spirit or whatever, like the true form of his personality
So
or
this isn't.
something like that.
So this
Yeah.
isn't a JoJo reference.
For once, it's not a JoJo reference.
The medieval and classical Arabs were not referencing JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Enough.
What plebeians? It did occur to me like almost a year ago now. Back when the idea of Warhammer, of them adding Nippon and actually giving Nippon actual lore seemed absurd. Like, it did occur to me, yo, what if they brought over, like, the genies from Araby, and instead of them being genies, they were stands?
Sure.
And, like, nobody goes to Nippon in Warhammer Fantasy because you just see samurai with stands fighting each other, and they're like, fuck that, I'm not going near that.
I mean, the thing is, the thing is though that depending on like how much they want to have fun with the concept of stands and how much they actually want to just like take up skill from JoJo, like it could work because stands don't have to be like the actual like they don't have to be spirits standing behind people. The close range power types, the punch ghosts, are the ones that stand behind people. But people also have like trick stands basically where they're either like a dead man's switch or they're just like a Rube Goldberg's machine
Yeah.
or stuff like that. Like in part 8, one of the characters stands is an origami swan or something like that, and if you touch it, then you start having hallucinations. So technically, they could just do anything and say that it's a stand because that's what Araki has been doing.
So a stand is just a supernatural being that is bound to someone.
Well, a stand is like someone's personality or spirit. I don't remember the exact wording they used in the freaking when they introduced stands in part 3. But it's either the person, like the true form of the person's personality, or just straight up their soul or something like that. Their soul's more magnified version that is capable of supernatural things.
This all actually does kind of already sound like Warhammer Fantasy's lore's way of handling magic.
Ah,
like I was reading.
So Warhammer does have stands.
Possibly they could, because I was reading over the lore for Beastmen, one of the books for the Beastmen, and it specifically states like, oh yeah, in Warhammer's equivalent of Europe, the Beastmen all look like fawns and satyrs and goats and wolves and bulls and things. But that's because that's what the people of Warhammer Europe imagine them looking like, and that's what scares them. But in the Warhammer version of Africa, the Beastmen are gorillas. In the Warhammer version of China, they're monkeys. And in the Warhammer version of India, they're tigers and elephants. And that's one of many things in Warhammer Fantasy lore that pretty well states, like, magic is made from thoughts, beliefs, and emotions. And so, in an area, things become true if enough people believe in them.
Ah.
Do you guys remember the level in Vermintide where you have to go inside the church and fight off rats while you wait for the little elevator to open up?
Yeah.
And you remember how, like, the big statue of the Empire's god Sigmar at some point just starts radiating... Thor. Yeah, radiating crazy holy energy that kills all the Skaven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That only happens because everyone in the Empire believes in Sigmar, so it becomes true. So if a religion has enough followers in Warhammer Fantasy, it inherently becomes true, no matter how nonsense it is.
So what you're saying is that people just need to stop believing in chaos somehow.
The trouble with chaos, though, is that chaos isn't just gods; it's also inherently formed from emotions. Like, Khorne is formed from all hatred, rage, bloodthirst, desire.
I imagine you're talking about the band.
Yeah, Khorne. Yeah, just keep going with that. It does start with a K, anyways. Courage, honor, all that, and he was formed out of those emotions first, and then people started worshiping him.
I see.
Yeah, and the Skaven have their own god that they believe in that empowers them, and that's why
it's a big rat.
Yep, it's actually just the Horned Rat is its name. You remember the plague monks that would run up to you, and they were dual wielding, and they were bizarrely tough?
Yeah.
Well, they're horribly covered in just like all kinds of like absolutely awful diseases and cankers and tumors and all that, and they only survive because they believe that the diseases on them are holy because of the horned rat.
Oh.
Yeah, they are just like walking fucking like petri dishes of diseases, and
So rats.
it is only religious belief that keeps them alive. And that's enough of Warhammer Fantasy lore for today, I think. Other than that, what I did, let's see, let me go on PlayStation. So, on Thursday, I was just sitting by my computer, and my phone went off and was like, hey, there's a PS5 queue gathering up, because I'm following a guy on Twitter. I was like, there's no way I'm getting anything, but whatever. Because every time, Sony is handling things the best way. If you're going to get a PS5, go for Sony. Sony's own store. Because what they have you do is there's a 20-minute, period before the queue starts. You get in there, you go through a CAPTCHA, and then once you complete the CAPTCHA, it assigns you a random spot in the queue when the queue starts. After the 20-minute warning, of course. And when the queue kicks up, because everyone is randomly assigned, this means that it doesn't matter that the bots will always arrive perfectly on time, because they get randomly assigned somewhere in the queue anyways. And I've been in that queue, more times than I can count, probably a dozen times. And 11 out of those dozen times, I got put at the back of the queue, and it started off by saying, alright, there's more than an hour left before you can enter the store.
Nice.
But this time I got in, and it said 17 minutes until you can enter the store. And my brain started racing, and I was like, has the PS5 sold out in less than 17 minutes before? I was trying to reference all the past times I'd been in the queue and how quickly it sold out. And yeah, I was finally fucking able to get a PS5.
Nice.
Yeah. Holy shit. So what I've done is I have just went and installed, because the PS4 and the PS4 you can just straight up transfer all files on your PS4 to your PS5 with a USB cable. So what I went ahead and did was I went ahead and just installed all the games that are either graphically prettiest or games that make my PS4 groan and churn.
Yeah.
And that
And the Venn diagram for that is a circle, by the way.
Yeah. And so I reinstalled Red Dead 2, which still makes my PS4 just take off into the atmosphere. I only put a few hours into Red Dead 2 because I deleted my old Red Dead 2 save file because I don't remember what the fuck I was doing. And I figured it's been so long since I played through the first couple chapters of Red Dead 2 anyways that it'd be fun to play through them again. So I deleted my old save file and I want to go ahead and rush through the first chapter again before I get the PS5 because I don't want to go through the chapter 1 on the PS5. And because chapter 1, if you'll remember, Addy, is the one where you're just stuck out in the snow and you have nothing to do except oh, Micah's in the snow, we should go grab him. So,
I mean, isn't chapter 1 15 minutes anyway?
Yeah. Well, it's more like an hour or two, but yeah, because you remember you gotta do the train heist and everything.
It didn't seem that long to me, but then as I've shown with freaking even now with FF7 remake recently, if I actually want to play through a game, I don't take my time, I just go. So yeah.
I was certainly faster this time, but I feel like Red Dead 2 is a game that encourages you to take your time, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I remember taking my time in that I liked walking around the cities and just interacting with people and trying to do parkour, whatever limited amount of parkour there was, but that was mostly because Red Dead Redemption 2 is a very fun game when you're not playing the story, and then the story happens.
Yes! So, yeah, there's so much fun stuff to do, but when you do the story missions, Red Dead 2 is Rockstar's worst for follow the dotted line. And if you deviate from it, fuck you.
And not only that, but it also features Micah and whatever the hell they did to Dutch.
Uh-huh. Okay, so I did want to talk about that for that first couple of missions. I'd forgotten some things. I forgot that Arthur was so bitchy in the first few missions. The entirety of the first few missions, it's All right, Arthur, we need you to go. All right, Arthur, we need you to go save John. He's out in the snow, Arthur. And Arthur's like, John, I don't like John. He's a punk ass bitch, John is. I don't like him. And Javi pretty well has to motivate Arthur with, look, Arthur, if it was you stuck out in the snow, John would go to help you. Shut up and deal with it. And you run into Micah. Oh, no, go ahead.
I was going to say, I don't remember early Arthur and how he was. I just remember, like, my thing with the story, like, my biggest gripe with the story was obviously Micah exists, but also Dutch, and also Arthur is just not a... Well, Arthur is not even a likable asshole protagonist. Like there are a couple of those that Rockstar was able to pull off, like people like CJ. I don't know. I haven't played through freaking San Andreas, so I wouldn't know where his character goes exactly.
I thought CJ
like,
was super nice.
Yeah, freaking like I'll probably die on the hill saying that freaking Michael from GTA 5 is the best protagonist of that game just because he's not Trevor and freaking
Franklin has nothing to do.
Yes, Franklin was robbed of a character.
Yeah. I like Arthur a lot, but his voice actor's got charisma. But I forgot how much of a dick Arthur is. Oh my god.
I mean, I wish he was more of a dick when it mattered. Because, like, I'm fine with Arthur doing bad things because that's Rockstar's MO. That's what they do.
Yeah.
It's just, hey, the world sucks. That's the game. That's the story.
You didn't play Red Dead 1, did you?
No.
Oh, John's a saint in that one. Committing crimes in Red Dead 1 feels just bizarre because John's such a saint in the story mode who just helps people.
I see. Yeah. With the way I'm used to Rockstar handling things, I'm just like used to people sucking and that including the player character as well.
Yeah.
And like there is that one mission in the middle of the game which I'm not sure if you reached yet, so I won't actually freaking spoil. But John does something very bad, and I didn't like it because literally immediately the cutscene before he does that very bad thing, Michael is yelling at him in a cutscene, and he's just like, "Oh, I'm sorry, sir. Please let me go, sir." And like, just let Arthur have a backbone. Like, I'm not saying let me kill Michael, that too, but like, and anything that gets him off of my screen. But like, just you could create tension between the two halves of the camp by having the Arthur freaking punch Micah in the face during a cutscene, and then have Dutch side with Micah, but have everyone else side with Arthur. Like, you could have an interesting story instead of just, I love Micah. He is my lover, Arthur. Trust in me. We are going to go to Kokomo.
Yeah.
Have some mangoes.
Like, Arthur doesn't get to punch Micah, but Charles does. Why?
Yeah, but Michael doesn't get punched enough, honestly.
That's true. That's true, but why weren't we playing as Charles?
Yeah.
Charles is so much cooler.
I mean, why weren't we playing as like any of the other characters that got stuck around for a while? Like, why did we not get to play as Charles? Why did we not get to play as Sadie instead? Like,
yeah. Like, I feel like Red Dead 2 actually would have really benefited from having Grand Theft Auto 5's ability to change characters because there are so many fun party members.
Yeah, but one of my fondest memories of the story of Red Dead 2 is there's this mission where Sadie spends some time just telling Arthur and the other men to let her go along with freaking killing people because she has nothing better to do and she's a badass, and they don't believe her. And then the place they live gets attacked, and everybody locks themselves up, and then they shove Arthur out because Sadie is outside. And then Arthur goes out, and Sadie is killing people with a shotgun, and everyone's dead. And Sadie's standing on top of their corpses like the Doom guy.
Yeah. Like, just cut to like Bill hiding out in a crap shack, and you just hear BFG, like the fucking all they fear is you playing in the distance, right?
But it's the Soldier Boy version.
Yeah. No, I got far enough to the first mission where Sadie actually like does herself up in cowgirl gear, and you run. Yeah, you run into, I forget if you run into the Confederates out in the woods or if you run into the guys that killed her husband. But I remember, like, that one, they start attacking you, and I just immediately run for cover, and I'm like, alright, now I gotta fight these guys, and I just turn around and Sadie, as an NPC, had already killed them all, and I was like, Jesus.
Yeah, I don't. Was that when they attacked the swamp hideout?
No, it's when you go shopping with Sadie on your way back.
Okay, because the one I'm talking about was the swamp hideout when everybody locks themselves up after that because I don't remember who, but someone attacks the farmhouse. And Sadie's like, you know what? I'm sick of being locked up. She just takes a freaking shotgun and just goes outside. Like, I don't know, a couple of minutes pass and then they shove out her out to save her, but she doesn't need saving. And like, you wanna like, they pulled that off very well. So I don't get why. Like, I don't. There's good parts to the redemption too, but then there's also Dutch and Micah.
Yes.
And sadly, we focused on Dutch and Micah.
It is just the most bizarre thing with Red Dead 2 is going back from Red Dead 1, where Bill and the only party members from Red Dead 2 you run into in Red Dead 1 are Bill, Javi, and Dutch. And in Red Dead 1, Bill is just a drunk psychopath, and Javi is like the most generic Mexican character in a Western ever. He just shows up and he's like, "Hey, ese, I fuck your wife. I commit crimes, bro. You can't arrest me. Oh no, he's arresting me."
Cesar Villalpando?
Yeah, pretty much. Oh no, wait, was Caesar CJ's brother-in-law?
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
Caesar was awesome. No, not Caesar at all. Caesar was the best.
Yeah, I don't know. He felt a bit generic to me.
I think I like that he was generic because you expected him to be a problem, right? Because he's your sister's boyfriend from a rival gang, and you're like, oh, great, here we go, fucking Romeo and Juliet. Oh no, he's actually a super cool guy. Oh, all right. But like,
I guess I did. Yeah.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was just going to say I actually don't think I remembered he was part of the Vagos.
Yeah. So in Red Dead 1, Bill and Javi are like really lame characters. Javi only gets one scene. You run into him and then you either kill or arrest him. That's it. Dutch gets several scenes and they made him very sad. They made it clear like he just wanted to, like, he saw that the US government was fucked up for a lot of the things they were doing in that time period, and he wanted to carve out his own little place where people could be people, but he lost his fucking mind and he lost his way, you know?
Yeah.
And Red Dead 2, Dutch just feels like such a scam artist from Red Dead 2, even to his own teammates, you know?
Yeah. I mean, like, scam artist works, but Dutch feels like a rejected cult leader.
Yeah.
To me.
Pretty much.
Like he really wants to have a cult, and Micah is using his need to be a cult leader, but nobody's buying his shit.
Yeah.
Like John buys his shit for a bit, but then he stops too.
Bill buys it, but Bill's an idiot.
Yeah.
And Red Dead 2, that's the thing. Red Dead 2 turned Javi from this generic Mexican thug to like this like incredible, handsome gentleman, like gentleman duelist, right? And he's even got a bowler hat. Yeah. And Bill becomes the lovable idiot. Because like you just feel bad for Bill, especially because Micah abuses him. Oh, but
I don't like the lovable idiot character archetype anyway, so
but Micah beats on him so bad, and you feel bad for him. And he's the only person in the camp besides Arthur and Charles who will tell Micah to take a hike.
I don't think I actually ever got to see Micah beating up Bill, unless it's part of a freaking story cutscene, and then I just ignore it because it's Bill. I don't care.
Verbally.
Yeah?
Verbally, he abuses Bill.
Maybe, I don't remember. I could see that.
I remember one of the earlier cutscenes, Micah says something like, "The girls around this camp won't sleep with you even if you put a gun to their heads." And then Bill just whispers off to the side, "Yeah, I'm sure you tried." Like, even like Bill's not that great of a person even in Red Dead 2, and he's an abject piece of shit in Red Dead 1, but like even he thinks Micah is the drizzling shits.
Because he is.
He is. Oh,
like, it's like the freaking like it is very much just the writing thing of like when in TV shows the writers figure out that something they wrote is bad, But instead of fixing it, they just write a character acknowledging that something is bad.
Yeah. Oh my god,
Like,
Red Dead 2 is so bad about that.
Because like the writers of Red Dead 2 knew that Micah was freaking generating expect heat, and they didn't care. Well, okay. I say they didn't care, but they probably did care. They just couldn't actually fix it in time or with the freaking their boss's approval. So
I think they honestly thought from their perspective it was brilliant to have the traitor be the guy who would most obviously be the traitor.
They'll never see this coming.
Yeah.
But they forgot to set up red herrings.
Uh-huh.
Like,
well, they kind of did. There are a couple obvious red herring candidates other than Micah.
I don't know.
But what was I going to say? There was something I was going to say about... Fuck, I completely lost my train of thought. I was going to say something about Micah, and it has completely slipped my mind.
Micah sucks.
I hope that Micah dies the same way that one thug did in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, that just gets sucked into the cogs.
Nah, from what I remember, he just you just shoot him and that's it. Like
Yeah, I was about to say,
no real
he seems like the kind of guy who'd get a Schindler's List, Hans Goth kind of death, where they deliberately make it as unsatisfying as possible.
I don't know if I'd say unsatisfying because there is this big shootout and all of that, but like, I don't know, like it. They wanted it felt like they wanted to have this big snow shootout scene in the freaking in the mountains, but it's the RDR2 when it's Rockstar, so instead of it being a big cool Western shootout, it's go behind cover and shoot at people, and also now there's snow.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Fuck. No, go ahead.
A lot of the shootout sections to me just like felt flat when it came to actually trying to convey anything.
Ordinarily I don't like Rockstar shooting, but I actually like Red Dead 2's gunplay, which I'm sure is just me being crazy.
I mean, honestly, in most freaking games, I don't notice a difference in the gunplay, so it doesn't freaking matter to me.
There are some obvious winners, like Killing Floor.
I've never played Killing Floor.
Oh.
Oh wait, no, I did play Killing Floor. I played Killing Floor 2.
Yeah. Killing Floor 2 had fantastic shooting. I think Killing Floor 1's shooting was more impactful, but Killing Floor 2's shooting was more stylish. Killing Floor 1 had where if you'd blast a zombie at point blank with a shotgun or a grenade launcher, it'd be like, oh, fuck! Whereas Killing Floor 2 had so many little flourishes and so many stylistic designs on the guns and the bullets that it was just like going for style points, you know?
Yeah.
I gotta get you guys Killing Floor 1 at some point. You guys probably actually could run that on your computers. Killing Floor 1 is not the most graphically impressive game in the world, even for 2005. What else did I do this week? The last thing I did this week, outside of what I have talked about before, is so there's a video released by YMFAH a few months ago. YMFAH, I assume his name is supposed to be Yimfa or something. He is pretty well, like, the best at coming up with nonsensical Bloodborne and Skyrim challenge runs that should by all means be impossible, and he figures out ways to make them possible. He just the other day uploaded a new one, how to beat Skyrim without using the left stick at all. So no walking.
I'm intrigued.
No running. No crouching, no sneaking. So, yeah. He's pretty crazy, and a few months ago I saw him release a video on Bloodborne, how to beat Bloodborne only using guns. And there was a particular trick that he used, that he discovered, that is very, very new for pretty well the entirety of the Bloodborne community, and my understanding is it shook everything up for the Bloodborne community, because it made things a lot easier. He's going through and he's like, alright, we're going to need a lot of money for this next part of the run. So hang on, and he just goes over to. There's a system in Bloodborne, the Chalice Dungeons, which is where you put these magic chalices in and use some ritual ingredients, and it unlocks a deep subterranean dungeon. And these dungeons are like super randomly generated, like everything that, like the room layouts randomly generated, trap placements randomly generated, enemy and boss placements randomly generated. And there's a lot of Bloodborne fans who do not care for the Chalice Dungeons. There's a lot of Bloodborne fans who live for the Chalice Dungeons and have not stopped playing with Chalice Dungeons since the game released. Because there is some insanity that happens with these Chalice Dungeons and their layouts. There are still undiscovered enemies in Bloodborne that are somewhere in the Chalice Dungeons.
What the heck?
I think there may even still be some undiscovered boss fights in the Chalice Dungeons.
That's wild.
And people have figured out ways to get... It runs like a series of like numbers and letters that it calls glyphs, and it's like the seed, right? Like how in Minecraft every randomly generated level has a seed. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, people have been able to figure out glyphs before that allow them to access cut content.
What?
Yeah. There's a cut version of the final boss that you can fight in the Chalice Dungeons if you input a certain glyph seed that you... Like, I guess the devs just... I don't know how that works. I have no fucking clue how. It's the most insane thing.
I mean, if it can call in cut content, then I would imagine that the glyphs are just directly related to hex numbers. And then yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah,
because that's the only way I can make sense of it. Because if to make a seed, it actually just like puts X number of hex values together, and then it just like calls in all of the things that it sees through those hex numbers, then you could in theory call in shit that wasn't supposed to be called in.
Yeah, there's even one cut boss that's invisible because it never had textures attached to it.
Nice. It's Snowstorm.
So this guy Waimpha recently found out, or I assume that one of his buddies found out and told him, but still, it was apparently a new discovery for whoever it was that originally found it out that was revealed through this video. But he goes up, okay, we're gonna need money, so go to the Chalice Dungeon setups, go to the Chalice Ritual, and input the glyph seed CUMMMFPK. And thus, 2 months ago, the Bloodborne community had revealed to it the Cum
Chalice, right?
The Cum Dungeon. Or the Cum Chalice. Yeah, the Cum Chalice works too, honestly. And what happens here is, you load in, and as soon as you load into the first layer of the dungeon, something, somewhere in the dungeon, dies. And I don't know how, I don't know why, it dies, and it is worth way more money than anything else in the entire game. So it just drops 830,000 Bloodborne bucks onto you.
Sure, why not?
Keep in mind that the final boss, I think, is worth like 7,000. Or, no, 70,000. So 800,000 relative to the final boss reward of 70,000. So, yeah, Bloodborne had a notorious grinding problem. That's solved now.
Yep. You just need to call 1-800-CUMMIES. And
Yeah.
resolve your monetary issues. It is now solved.
So, I reinstalled Bloodborne because I want to see it on PS5. I know that it's still going to run at 30 frames per second on PS5, but hopefully it can run it more consistently, thank fucking Christ. And I want to see Bloodborne at, like, forced 4K, or whatever it does, the PS5 does with those. Any which way, so I knew as soon as I turned Bloodborne back on, I was like, okay, I need to see the Cum Dungeon in action. And I went to the Cum Dungeon. And I was able to bring a character up from level 70 to level 150 without killing a single enemy.
And in the Cum Dungeon, you found your cousin jerking off.
Yeah. No, that's what kills the monster.
Yeah.
Man, I really want to know what that monster is now that is not only killing itself, but also dropping a money amount much, much larger than the final boss. And I think the dungeon may honestly be bugged, because I've noticed that when I load in, your max health is set to 1.
Nice.
So you're not gonna beat the dungeon yourself, that's not actually going to happen. But yeah, you load in and you look and your health bar, because Souls actually has where your health bar is the same size as your, like, the size actually changes appropriate to your max health, right? So when you get to the end game of Bloodborne or Dark Souls, your health meter is just positively massive. Well, now I look at the health meter in the Cum dungeon, and it's just this, like, little, pretty well just a pixel of red.
Nice.
The great thing is, the character I've been doing it with is a character who has the blood katana, which if he activates the blood form, it starts to drain his health. So I have to be very careful not to activate the blood katana form, or else it will just kill me. Alright.
My favorite special move is always killing myself.
Yeah. It's like, what fighting game character is it? Like, it's with Abba, like if you leave her on the demon key form, right?
Yeah, or with freaking Nagoriyuki now.
Yeah, that's right, that's right.
Because he also goes down to 1 pixel.
Yes.
Or alternatively, if you miss too many freaking I forget the name of the move with Yoshimitsu.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Alright, and that is the extent of my week, and I believe we can call that a podcast. I just loaded into the wrestling thread and saw that Andrade's request for release has been rejected.
I'm fine with that.
Does that not mean he's just going to, like, not give a fuck?
Yeah.
He probably stopped a long time ago. He's not been on television in months.
Oh boy.
Months. But he's married to Charlotte, so that's probably why they rejected it.
Oh, I see. Okay. Alright. And with all that done and said, and I think we can call a podcast Addy said bye. Dude,
I
I need
refuse.
to, I gotta go to the bathroom, man. You need to do this. I beg of you. Please.
Bye.
Oh, thank God. Ah!